The first step in this project is to make sure that you terminate the power to the unit that you're going to be working on. As you see in the video, I'm shutting off the switch to accomplish this. However, sometimes that may not be enough. Sometimes you're better off going right to the electric box and killing the power there. Because what happens in some cases, power is run to the unit first and then sent down to the switch and back to the unit using the switch as an intermediary between the two. When you do this, even shutting the power off to the switch will leave a live wire up in the box. So always use the circuit breaker box if you're unsure of how it's wired. In this particular case, I know for a fact that this is wired to the switch first, and therefore there will be no electrical current while working on the project. Okay, as you can see here, this is where the cover plate is, where the exhaust fan expels to the exterior of the home. You may not need to change this out. You can connect your exhaust fan to the existing ductwork. In our particular case, we need to change out the exhaust fan because we're increasing the diameter of the ductwork. Let me pop you up a photo here of the unit we're installing. It's the Panasonic FD11VQ5 exhaust fan, which has less than 0.6 ohms of noise. The level is so quiet that it's almost at a whisper when it's on. My associate removing the cover so that he can access the edges of this cover plate. He's running a razor knife around the edges, separating the caulk from the cover plate. Be careful when doing this as to not damage the vinyl siding in any way. Once the silicone is all cut away from the side of the unit, go ahead and take the screws out, removing the faceplate and exposing the exhaust pipe where it comes through the exterior wall of the home. It's a good idea to go around the edges of this with a razor blade as well so you don't peel the paint back when you pull down this cover. There's two spring clips that hold it on. To remove it, squeeze them together and pull it down. Both sides are exactly the same, and it goes up just as easy. Most ceiling exhaust fans have an outlet built inside of it. You just simply unplug it. Most exhaust fans have one or two screws securing the fan assembly inside the chassis. Once you remove those screws, separate the fan assembly from the chassis by pulling it out of the slots that it fits into. The next step is to remove the chassis from the ceiling. This is usually nailed or screwed to a ceiling rafter. As you see here, there's a nail right there holding it securely. Your exhaust fan may have been installed before the drywall, so you might have to use a crowbar and bend the chassis to get it out. Once you remove the chassis from the ceiling, you'll see you have both an electrical and duct connection. both of which need to be removed. Disconnect the electrical wiring from the chassis and remove the duct. This particular one here, the duct is in very poor condition, and so I'm just simply cutting it off. You might have to loosen the Romex connector to slide the wire out of the chassis. Separate your wires and temporarily store them above the cut. Place your new chassis against the ceiling, lining it up with two sides of a pre-existing cut, ensuring that one side of the chassis is parallel to a rafter. Using a pencil, trace out the chassis. Before cutting, always check for obstructions such as electrical wires, plumbing, ductwork, insulation, or anything that might be in the way. Using a keyhole saw, cut on the lines that you traced earlier. After all cuts are complete, test your fit by installing your new chassis into the hole. Pay special attention to the flange, ensuring that it overlaps the drywall. Here's a small picture with the flange circled. But don't leave it in there. After you've dry fit it, take it back out. Sit the chassis on something secure. Using a screwdriver, remove the one single set screw and open the attached electrical box. Prepare to install a Romex connector, which holds the wire in place. This is what they look like. Before doing so, you'll have to remove the knockout plug. This is easily done with a flathead screwdriver and a pair of needle nose pliers. Do not reinstall the cover on the electric box until after we make the electrical connections inside the home. Reach up and remove the wire that you set aside during the dry fit of the unit. Make both the electrical and duct connections and then reinstall the chassis into the ceiling. Turn on the switch to ensure that it's functioning. Fasten the chassis into place and using the same type of spring-loaded clips, install the cover onto the chassis. Install the exterior exhaust plate, silicone around the edges. Wet your finger and smear the silicone for a nice even application. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helps you with your project. If you don't think it's something you can tackle, and you're in Eastern Pennsylvania or New Jersey, please give us a call. We'll be happy to help you with your project. This video took about 6.5 hours to make. Please show your appreciation by liking and subscribing to our channel. And please, share this with your friends.